Welcome back to my sewing room. I'm Kelly and you found me here on Pick and Stitches, and today we are finally getting into the Cali and Co Mystery Quilt Along from Coriander Quilts. So I can't wait to show you how everything comes together. I am in love with this block. As soon as I sewed it out, I wanted to make 20 more. So let's jump right on in. Okay, so I wanted to show you how I'm going to try my best to stay organized this year. This is one of those art bins I was telling you about the other day, and I've just taken the first block and I put it on the top, and that way whenever I pick up this bin I will automatically know it is the Cali and Co Sew Along. On the inside it's got the fabric requirements, and then I've organized all my pieces. I have pre-cut everything. There are going to be some extras, and the other thing that I did a little bit different is I went through every single fabric and I made 8 2.5 unfinished half square triangles. That way, hopefully, if fingers crossed, I don't know that we're going to use any extra, but we do have a couple extra after this first block. So I thought, why not? I'm going to try it. I have an extra 8th bundle of this entire fabric. And so I know I'm going to be using it a lot, and I will have it on hand and it will be easy. So the first thing we're going to do is build out our block. You need 8 half square triangles. And we're going to put those towards the center here. Let's see, how do we want to do this? This way. And I'm going to stay really scrappy with this. I feel like this fabric collection kind of lends itself to look really nice that way. And that's just what we're going to do. It's what I'm going to do. You may do whatever you would like on your quilt. One more. Okay, so we've got them all pointed towards the center. Now we're going to grab just our 2-inch squares. Perfect. Okay. Oops. I forgot about my outside corners. I need 4 more. Let's see. I'll pop this one. Let's do a pink. We need a pink. Pink, pink, pink. That's a pink. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to head over to the machine and I'm just going to chain piece these 2 and then these 2 all the way down this row. And then I'll pull it back through the machine, flip it open, and sew the next row on. And then we'll do that for this last side over here, and then we'll come back and press it. Okay, so now I've pressed all of those open, and they're still mostly chain pieced. And now we're going to take these back over to the machine and just stitch each row together. So let's head over there now. Okay, so totally up to you on how you want to approach this. If you'd like to start on the left, I usually like to start on the left and move to the right. I know everybody kind of has a different style. So that means I'm going to have to flip all these extra pieces over. And since these are pressed open, they are not going to nest. Since these are pressed open, they're not going to nest. So we'll just make sure that our seams are good. I'll throw a couple pins in it. I don't find when I'm nesting seams that I have to pin, but I do like to pin if they're not nesting. Just feel like things need a little help, a little TLC. And on the long arm, it is definitely nicer if they are pressed open. Okay. So again, I'm just using my 60 glide thread that I like so much and a regular 2.5 stitch. Okay, so I will just kind of finger press that open to get it out of the way, and we'll do the next line. Now, if you have a point here and you're really worried about it, I always want to open that up and check and make sure I did not cut off that point. So here, because you have your points coming together there and there, you might choose to poke a pen just to make sure that you're hitting exactly where you want. So the way you poke the pen is you just go right in where you think all those junctures are coming together, flip it over, and then we're going to double check and make sure that that's exactly where it comes together. And then I'm going to come into the same point on my back fabric. And usually these are pretty well aligned, but it doesn't hurt to double check, and it will save you and your seam ripper a little TLC. So you can just throw a pin in that. If you really, really want to secure it, you could throw one before and one after. And if you're a novice quilter, you might enjoy just marking right where that pin is, because now we're going to pull this pin out. Obviously, it's in here perpendicular. We can't sew with it there. Oops. We can friction erase on our quilt machine, though, can't we? All right. I'm just throwing one pin in there because that's a pressed open seam. And if this thread here where its chain piece is in your way, you can always break that thread between the two, and then you have a little bit more room to poke your pin. So we want to come with the pin right where those junctures all come together, and then on the same thing here. And again, if you're not a novice quilter, you may not need to do any of this. I just like to kind of give you some tips and tricks that might help you when you're getting started, because the last thing we want is for you to be dissatisfied with your results and then not want to quilt anymore. Because quilting is my zen. I used to love yoga, and then when I started having kids and I tried to do yoga at home, the fact that they thought it was fun time to do London Bridge under mommy as she was doing downward dog, I just decided that maybe that wasn't the best way to relax with kids around. Sorry, you guys. I feel like every time I go to film these days, it's like super bright in the front yard, and I love all my natural light, but it makes filming really hard. I have to like shade the window, but I don't want to blackout curtain it. Okay, so we're going to flip that open and just look. Make sure that we like where our points are coming together there. And our points here look good. Our points there look good. And then we're going to just do this last side. So this first one is just to press open, kind of get it to the ballpark right spot. It'll be fine. This one, sometimes you can look at the back of the fabric and see exactly where you want it. But it is nice to know. I've gone right between my two fabrics on the back side. And then I'm just going to mark that spot because I want to make sure that I know that that's exactly where I want to hit. And that's just a friction erasable marker, you guys. It's exactly like the pens. So if you have a dark, dark fabric, it might bleach your fabric. So definitely be careful with them. But I like that it makes a bigger mark for me so it's easier to see. And good. Whoops, I'm throwing pens. Okay. So whoa, my presser fell. We'll double check that last point. That looks good. So now we'll take it over and press it, and we're ready to go. We'll set our seams, And then I'm going to press this open. Okay, and sometimes if your chain piece is too tight, you may not be able to press open. I did not throw enough stitches in between that. It's really easy to just grab that seam ripper and just pull that last little stitch out. I probably stitched 3 or 4 between, but it wasn't enough to have it go open. Okay, so now we've got these all pressed open, and we're going to just set these in the center of our square, and we're going to start building out from here. So we've got our 16 block. We're going to take our 2 smaller sides. Shoot. Which way did I have this? This one. Okay, so we're going to take our 2 smaller sides and attach them onto either edge, and then we'll take our 2 longer ones and attach them to the top. Okay, so now we'll attach our 2 longer pieces in the same fashion. Give this corner a little trim before I start. I think that one I didn't get all the way to the correct size. Okay, so now we've got our block. We're going to attach our 2 shorter of our color. And I've already kind of laid these out. I'm really going scrappy with this fruit today, guys. So we're going to do that as my short. And then these 2 as my long. So we'll do exactly what we just did. We'll take these 2 over and put them on these shorter sides. And then we'll press. And we'll come back and add those 2. Okay. So I know I wanted to have it oriented this way, but I think honestly at the end of the day, this one's scrappy enough. You could probably not worry about it too much. It's really easy to get into your own head about color placement, and I try not to do that. Okay, so the next step we're going to do, I cannot remember what Corey calls them. Lori Holt always calls them easy corner triangles. We are going to draw the 2 lines so that we can reuse those corners for something else. Corey has promised us some fun projects at the end. So I'm going to let that set up under the clapper while we draw our lines. Now we are going to take our rectangle, flip it over, and you're going to go corner to corner. I'm going to go ahead and use my friction marker, so hopefully you guys can see it on camera. This is the side I'm going to cut off, so I'm going to move 1/2 inch towards that side. And I just like to mark it so that I don't ever get confused. I know that that's the side that's my discard side, okay? So we'll do that for all 4 sides. Okay, so now we're on to the last step here. These were my long ones, so that was my direction that I had. And then I wanted this one to be down in this corner. That's my discard side, so I'm going to flip it around. And I'm going to go ahead and pin it on so that I don't get confused. You certainly don't have to. I'm just trying to kind of organize myself so that I can take all 4 of these over to the sewing machine at the same time and not get things oriented the wrong way. Okay, so we're going to sew down both lines on all 4 of these. I will need to change this foot. That guided foot is great for sewing when you have the edge of your fabric there, but if you are not next to the edge of your fabric, it will not be your friend. So I kind of just roughly threw these into place, so I'll probably adjust them a little bit. I just wanted to make sure that they were held in the right orientation for the corner that they should belong to. And I just love how this extra foot, I end up like it sticks to the magnet that I keep right here. If you have that magnet, definitely try it. Okay, so that's 2 of our lines. So now we're going to head back over to our cutting station and cut off our corners. So real nice and easy. These are already sewn, so it does not have to be precise. You just want to cut between your 2 sewn lines and leave yourself enough seam allowance. I'm going to cut these all the way around and then press, and we are done with block 1. So we'll set our seams and then just press it open, you guys. Look at how cute that is. Our corner turned out perfect. And I love how scrappy this is. This is going to be such a fun project. Friction pen will help you remember if you did or did not set your seam yet. Keep you honest. So fun. Okay, guys, there we have it. This is our finished first block of the month for Cali and Co. I think it turned out really cute. It looks fantastic, scrappy. I am not one to get the laser level out to make everything absolutely perfect. And if you are that person, please, by all means, do. I pen when I absolutely need to, and I've always kind of coined myself the farmhouse quilter. I want it to look really nice, but I don't want to spend bukus and bukus of time on it. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I would love to see your block as it's coming together. Like I said in the beginning, I did make those extra half square triangles. I have no clue if we're going to use them, and I did make a ton of them. There are 40 prints in this fabric. I don't think I did the white on white. I did the rest of them. So we're talking like 300 and what, 10? Because I didn't do a couple of them that I have extra half square triangles, but I know I'm going to use those for something else, and hopefully we can use them in this quilt. I did not video that, but if you've been around my channel for a while, you probably know that I love triangles on a roll. I just used the H200s, and I pulled this out and I did 1X pattern, which gets me 8 of each colorway. So if you want to do that extra, if you have extra fabric, I think that that's going to be kind of a time saver, hopefully, if we use it in the rest of this quilt along. But if not, we'll find something fun to do with it on the side. So I hope you've enjoyed sewing this one out with me. I can't wait until next month. If you do like watching any of these tutorials or other unboxings, it does help me out a ton if you would hit that like and subscribe. And until then, guys, I will see you next time.